Sports cars are different things to different people. To my mind, the image of a sports car conjures up something small and wieldy with agile handling and lots of performance. But others might consider sports cars in a grander, more luxurious fashion. The 6 Series is exactly that, a grand tourer that combines significant dynamic talent with uncompromising luxury. Regular RPM TV viewers will recall that we first encountered the latest generation 6 Series in convertible form at that car's world launch in our very own Cape Town. The fact that BMW decided to lead the 6 Series charge with a ragtop version suggests that it considers lifestyle appeal an important part of the 6's makeup. Indeed, it's easy to consider both the convertible and the coupe, which joined its drop-top sibling 6 months later, as the kind of boulevard cruisers favoured by celebrities and lotto winners. But that would be doing the 650i an injustice. But before we get to the technical bits, let's get one thing straight. At face value, the 6 Series coupe is neither lithe nor nimble. The shape is executed smoothly enough, and the lines flow more convincingly than the previous model. But this car reminds me of a bodybuilder at a black tie dinner. Sure, it looks smart enough, but you can't help but notice the bulging muscles. Quite fittingly, the long swooping nose is the 650i's most prominent feature, as it's also home to the 2-doors powerful V8 engine. Front on, the wide-eyed LED headlights and the snarl of the twin grills endow the coupe with a pugilistic stare, while the low air dam is home to large cooling apertures. But you only realize just how big the 6 is when you see it in profile. The cabin is set far back, and while the front overhang is relatively short, the rear extends well beyond the wheel arches. As a result, the haunches can look a little heavy, despite the car's low, almost menacing stance. The rear is tidily executed thanks to an integrated boot spoiler, slim taillight clusters, and the geometric apertures of the twin exhausts. You also get to see the fat footprint of the 650i's low-profile tyres, which in turn underscore the wide, powerful rear track. However, nothing can disguise the fact that the 650i is a big car, not just by 2-door coupe standards, but in general motoring terms. It's just short of 4.9 meters long and almost 1.9 meters wide, with a wheelbase of 2.85 meters. That said, the low roofline and wide hunkered-down attitude endow the Beamer with an unmistakably sporty presence. By comparison, the interior is luxurious and lavishly appointed. Front occupants are accommodated in sculpted sport seats, and the list of standard kit is in the luxury limo class. But for a car this generously proportioned, the rear is rather cramped. In fact, it's only good enough for small kids, hobbits, or vertically challenged individuals. In equipment terms, the large LCD screen and the accompanying iDrive system provide an excellent and intuitive interface between car and driver, while connectivity with Bluetooth-enabled smartphones is seamless. Perforated leather adds to the indulgent ambiance, but the creamy hue is hardly practical. However, it does add to a sense of space and air, further emphasized by the glass roof panel. iPod music players are effortlessly integrated into the Bang & Olufsen entertainment system, which itself is a sonic masterpiece. It features surround sound via multiple loudspeakers, including a pop-up center channel unit. Advanced technology is prevalent in the extensive arsenal of driver aids that includes a color head-up display, lane departure warning, lane change warning, and active cruise control. And let's not forget the boot, which will swallow 2 golf bags with ease, or more luggage than 2 people will ever need. The 650i certainly has the right stuff to live up to its athletic promise. Under the bonnet you'll find a 4.4-litre V8 with not 1 but 2 turbochargers. Maximum power comes to 300 kilowatts, linked to 600 newton-meters of maximum torque. And even though this car is big and heavy, the power-to-weight ratio still comes to 163 kilowatts per tonne. Predictably, drive is to the rear wheels via an 8-speed gearbox. As auto transmissions go, this is one of the best. Left to its own devices, it swaps cogs smoothly and unobtrusively and always seems to find just the right ratio. But this is a sports car, right? So, the 650i also comes with shift paddles, allowing the gearbox to be controlled manually. The rest of the mechanical package expresses the 650i's athletic pedigree. The all-independent suspension employs active dampers and roll bars, while the beefy brakes are fitted with large discs and floating calipers. So, we know this is a big car, we know that it's powerful too. But just how sporty is the 650i in real-world terms? Well, that depends very much on the driver's mood or preference. You can set this car up to be as wild or as docile as you like, thanks to a system BMW calls dynamic drive control. The system allows aspects such as throttle mapping, steering response, and the dampers and roll bars of the active suspension to be tweaked at the push of a button. In Sport or even Sport Plus modes, the Beamer is transformed from composed Executive Express to an altogether more involving, more entertaining beast. In straight-line performance terms, the 650i is an impressive car. 0 to 100 comes up in just 4.9 seconds. Top speed is limited as usual to 250 kilometers an hour, although it's obvious that this car could do much, much more than that. There's so much punch and so much power that the rear rubber takes straight every time you floor the throttle. However, it's not all good news. The inertia of that 1.8-ton mass tends to understate the car's reactions, and you often find yourself travelling faster than expected. And at slow speeds, the steering feels over-assisted, with a turn-in that's too exaggerated, thanks to the rear-wheel deflection of the optional integral active steering system. Fortunately, the steering gets meatier at speed. As for fuel economy, BMW claims a 10.4 litre per 100 kilometre consumption for the combined cycle, but only little old ladies with a right foot as light as a budgie's are likely to achieve that figure. Drive it with the gusto it deserves, and you won't get away with much less than 14 litres per 100 kilometres. BMW 650i Coupe could be considered the automotive expression of the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's simply too big and too imposing to be called beautiful, and the fact that such a large car has so little rear legroom is simply bad. But it does cover ground very rapidly, it does feel very composed when you drive it with gusto, and ultimately it offers a thrilling and satisfying motoring experience. Widely used across BMW's big car range, the twin-turbo V8 is smooth, powerful and incisive, and linked to the excellent auto box, it's the perfect drivetrain. The result is a package that's as serene or as sporty as the driver wants it to be, with loads of comfort to match. But it's too big to be truly wieldy, and rear space remains compromised.